Now, Hillary Clinton is running for the Democratic nomination for 2016, and she's getting some unlikely support. Now, what's the support coming from? Well, there's a new group from Nevada called Hookers for Hillary. Wow. Now, on their website, hookersforhillary.com, they lay out 4 different reasons that they're supporting Hillary Clinton. Now, one would be, of course, healthcare. Now, healthcare, really important. Hillary says that she's in favor of Obamacare, keeping Obamacare. And, of course, she came up with her own plan, Hillary Care, back in like the 90s. The first attempt of trying to do a universal healthcare system. So, this point, she says, they say Hillary Clinton, as part of her husband's administration, envisioned healthcare reform in the 1990s, long before President Obama was able to sign into law. The Affordable Care Act made health insurance available for the first time ever to the 500 independent contractors employed by Dennis Hof. Now, Dennis Hof, of course, is the leader of the Moonlite Bunny Ranch in Nevada. Now, with any Republican nominee likely to work for its repeal, the bunnies want to protect the quality health care coverage that they now enjoy. So healthcare is kind of a huge issue. It's a huge issue for, especially for sex workers. You definitely want to get health insurance. And so, yeah, I can totally see that. And they also cite some of her foreign policy experience, from being, of course, the Secretary of State. Something that I don't really agree with. I think she's a little too hawkish on foreign policy, but that's just my opinion and the opinion of a lot of progressives. Another one is, of course, support for regulation of the health industry. She says, they said, Nevada's mandatory testing of legal prostitutes for sexually transmitted diseases is a successful example of effective government regulation. I could not agree more. And of course, they cite the fact that Republicans would love to get rid of said regulation and go back to sort of a Wild West, quote unquote, free market type of system. Like, I don't know, let the corporations do whatever they want and let the free market correct any sort of problems or imbalances. Obviously, they're not in favor of that, so they're going to go for Hillary. And the other point is where they point out that, look, we don't want to go back to supply-side economics. Bill Clinton presided over the most prosperous time in Bunny Ranch history, which coincided with a tax increase on the wealthiest Americans, such as brothel owner Dennis Hof. The bunnies recognize that thriving economies are built from the bottom up, where the vast majority of their clients originate. A return to relying on disproven trickle-down economics would only serve to exclude the vast majority of hard-working Bunny Ranch clients from having the discretionary income to enjoy with their favorite bunny. Who doesn't love this? I think it's great. Now, a lot of their arguments are basically like, hey, we'll support Hillary just to avoid that Republican conservative jackass from getting into office. Yeah, when it comes down to it, that's pretty much the only reason that I would vote and support for, Hillary Clinton if she gets the nomination. So, I'm definitely with him there. Dennis Hof, owner of this, says, look, a lot of people are going to look to this and say that it's a publicity stunt. But it's more than a publicity stunt. When you can get publicity and do the right thing, then you've got a winner. And we've got a winner here. You're also going to see crazy things. They're going to show up at rallies in bikinis, bunnies for Hillary. They're going to push the issue and stir it up, because when you stir it up, you get people thinking and looking at it. So that's great. And look, they point out a really important issue. Going back to the healthcare thing, these bunnies, well, they're considered independent contractors. Now, I have something in common with them. I am also an independent contractor. And so, them being able to get health insurance through the Affordable Care Act, which they couldn't afford before, couldn't get before, is kind of a big deal. You definitely want to be able to protect that. Chrissy Summers, who is one of these prostitutes and Hookers for Hillary supporter, she says, look, this is the first time ever that over 500 independent contractors or as you call it, legalized prostitutes, were able to get health care under the Affordable Care Act. Whether someone agrees with legal prostitution or not, it's not right to take health care away from us. We pay into taxes too. Absolutely, man. Like, whether or not you agree with the idea of legalized prostitution, and I think I do agree with it because it's a matter of contract, right? You're entering into a contract with another consenting adult. What's my place to go and say that you can't do that? It shouldn't be my place, and it shouldn't be the government's place, but what it should be the government's place is if you legalize it, just like marijuana, you can regulate it, you can tax it, and you can put the shadier characters out of business. When you make something legal, when you make something illegal, you drive it underground and you increase the risk. Being a sex worker is already risky enough. Legalize it, and you can make it a safer job for people who choose to work in that field. It's an issue of freedom.